How much money do you need to retire? This is a question everyone faces at some point in their life because everybody wants to retire someday. The question is, how much do you need? Today, I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys how much exactly you need, but more like what kind of goals you should have when you're about to retire and what type of assets you should have already acquired in your life. I can't wait to share this with you guys today. Good day, subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Financial Education Channel. So today we're talking about how much money do you need to retire? How much money do you need to retire? So today I'm going to walk through with you guys how much money you need, but the exact plan. So I'm not just going to share with you guys a finite amount of money. Like a lot of times on commercials and whatnot for financial programs and whatnot, Fidelity or whoever, they'll run these commercials that say, oh, you need $1 million to retire, or $1.2 million, or 800,000, or whatever. I'm going to share with you guys amounts of money you want to have in each category of assets. So it's going to be much more into detail than just, oh, you need $1 million to retire, bye-bye. No. We're going to go into detail today. So, for this video, we're going to assume you want to live a normal retirement. So comfortable, nice, you can take trips and things like that, but not like going to France every other week or Monaco or, Beijing or, all this crazy stuff. Just normal amount of trips, maybe one every couple months, 3, 4 real vacations a year, taking little trips to see your grandkids, things like that you want to do in retirement. Not something crazy, but also not a lifestyle that's so plain Jane you never get to do anything. So we're going for the normal, nice retirement plan. So let me erase all this here. And for the sake of the video, we are going to go ahead and we're going to assume your retirement age is age 65. So now for my generation, people in their 20s, 65 might be super young in the future. 65 is a nice retirement age now, but, for my generation, if everybody's living to be 100 or 110 or whatever, it might be like, you probably don't retire until you're 80 or whatever. So, but for the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead and do retirement age of 65. I seriously need to get like a big eraser because this little teeny eraser, it drives me nuts on this board. It drives me crazy. I need to go to Staples and get a big one. Anyways, 65, retirement age. That's the age. So, first things first. By that age, you're going to want to own a home outright that you were probably living in while you were raising your kids and whatnot, and then you continue to live in that home when they went off to college, and then maybe they moved back in for a little bit amount of time until they found a job, and then they went out and about. And then you still probably continued living in that home until your retirement. So what you want to have is a home that's worth at least $300,000. That's the goal, $300,000. And I'm going to do everything based off today's numbers just to keep it simple. Because if I'm doing my retirement age at 65, which is almost 40 years from now, who knows what the dollar is going to be worth. So we're going to keep everything in today's terms just to keep the video simple. So you need to have a house that's worth at least $300,000. Now, when you're going to go ahead and retire, you're going to go ahead and sell this house. You're going to put it on the market as long as the housing market's okay at that time. And you're going to go ahead and downsize because that 4, 5, 6 bedroom house or whatever you had when you had all those kids and whatnot, you probably don't need that today. You need to just go ahead and downsize, and that's what you're going to want to do because you want to keep it simple. You don't want to take care of all those extra bedrooms and all that extra space and dust and clean and, the whole thing, the yard work, it's insane. So you're going to want to go ahead and buy a home that's $200,000. Maybe you stay in the same state you've been living in. Maybe you go out to Arizona and retire in Sun City or out in Nevada or Florida or one of those states that's nice to retire in. Maybe that's a decision you make, but no matter what, you're going to want to find a house around $200,000. So basically, you're going to end up booking about $100K profit here. So $100K, and that is going to go straight into your savings category. It's not going to go anywhere else. It's not going to go into stocks, anything like that. It's going to go straight into your savings. So 100K, boom, straight there. Now, there's going to be something that I suggest you acquire as soon as your retirement starts. And this might sound a little funny because I don't usually suggest buying a new car, but at this age, I suggest you buy a brand spanking new car. So go out and spend 40K. So you can take that out of this category if you would like. So then you basically have 60K going into your savings. So that's going straight into your savings category. Now, the reason I suggest buying a nice car is because, one, you deserve it. It's retirement time. You deserve to have a nice car that's brand new. And mainly because you're 65, you don't want to worry about it. And also, it's going to be all under warranty. You're not going to have to worry about bills coming in or the engine going out, or there's something happening with the transmission and flooding money out for some car you've owned for last 10, 15 years or whatnot. You want to just keep it simple. You want to be able to take trips, road trips and whatnot without having to worry about that car. So that's the plan there. So this 60K is going to savings. Now, I want you to have in your savings, and when I say savings, I mean like cash savings or in a savings account type savings. I want you to have a minimum of 100K already in there. So if you have 100K, you have another 60K here, you're basically going to end up with 160,000 in savings. My handwriting is horrible, just so you guys know. You probably already know that. So you got 160K in savings right now. Now, as far as your 401K, you're going to want to have a minimum of $500,000 in that 401K. So you worked, your whole career and whatnot, you put money away every week or every, 2 weeks, whenever you get your paycheck, into that 401K. So you want to have a minimum of $500,000 in 401K. 401K. So basically, so far what we have for assets, we got a $200,000 home we own. Okay, that's owned outright. You don't pay a mortgage on that, nothing. Just your homeowner's insurance, and that's about it. You got 500K in a 401K. You got 160,000 in basically cash savings. The last piece of this that I want you to have come retirement time is a minimum of 250,000 in stocks. So, and if you don't know how to invest in stocks and you're not comfortable with that, you're probably going to want to find somebody that knows a lot of crap about stocks. That way they can tell you where to invest and whatnot. But I suggest you are the one that's actually doing the trades and whatnot, and not just having someone else control it and taking money out of the pile. So hopefully you can find a friend or something that really knows their stuff about stocks. So 250K in stocks. So why 250,000 in stocks? And why is this amount kind of low? Because a lot of people say, oh, you need $1 million or whatnot in your 401K. Well, I suggest putting a little less toward 401K your whole career and taking that money you could have been putting into your 401K into investing in stocks, doing it yourself. Because you don't get any fees taken out when you do it yourself. Whereas this way you get fees, and a lot of times you can pick better stocks than what they pick for you in here. Here they're just going to pick you an index. So you're just going to automatically get whatever the index makes that year. So if the index goes up 5%, you go up 5%. If the index goes down 10%, you're going to go down 10%. That's the way it works for 401K. So now we have $250,000 in stocks. You have a $200,000 home you own. You have a $40,000 car, but we're not going to count that because it's kind of a liability. You have $160,000 in cash savings. You have $500,000 in 401K. So let's just erase this number here. And then let's go ahead and erase these numbers so we can just kind of keep track of everything we got here. So now at this point, your bills are going to be very low. You have no mortgage because your house is paid for. You have no car bill because your car is paid for. So your biggest bill is really going to be probably health insurance. Maybe that's $500, $600 a month for you and your spouse total. Maybe it's $700. I don't know. It's obviously going to depend on a lot of health factors and whatnot, but that's your biggest bill. That's your biggest bill by far. Car insurance is going to be super cheap because Car insurance is super cheap for anybody that's older. I know my parents are in their 50s and the rates they pay are like sick low. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I could pay that kind of price. So the bills are going to be very minuscule. You'll have your electric bill, water bill, things like that. But let's say your bills are, I would say, $1,500 a month. So $1,500 a month times, so let's say 10 months that we're at 15,000. You add another 3,000 onto that, so $18,000 is what you have in bills per year. So now you need to make 18,000 or take it out of somewhere every year because those 18,000 in bills need to be paid. The reason I have 250K up here in stocks is, let's say you get just 10% a year. So between dividends and what the shares go up, let's say you just get that 10% a year. That's $25,000 per year. Then you pay your taxes on that. That's $20,000 you could be making that can go straight toward the bills. So your bills are already covered by just what you're making in income from stocks. Because if you get 10% a year and 250,000, that's 25,000. You take that 25,000 out every year. You get taxed on it. You got 20,000 left. You still got 2,000 extra at the end of the day. And maybe you have little things here and there you buy and whatnot. So that maybe it could be what the 2,000 goes toward. Now you still have this 500,000 in your 401k. You still have your home, of course, and you still have 160,000 in savings. So what you can do is slowly take out of your 401k to go do all that fun stuff. So maybe you budget, I'm going to budget $5,000 to $10,000 a year on vacations or whatever, to go on cruises or go on trips or whatnot. It can come straight out of this 401k area. So that way this 250k can always stay here, and this one is still going to stay relatively stagnant because you're still going to be making money on this. It's not like that money is just 500,000 and that's it. You're still going to be making percentages on this money here. So the little bits of money you take or whatever a year, it's going to probably come right back to you because you're going to be making percentages on that money. Maybe it's 5%, maybe it's 8%, maybe it's 7%, somewhere around there. But on 500,000, that's enough to cover it. So you can do $10,000 worth of vacations a year. You can pay all your bills and whatnot, and you still will always be in a revolving door of beautifulness. You're still going to always have this 160,000 down here. This 500k is basically never going to move. Your 250k in stocks is basically never going to move. And your house value, hopefully that appreciates a little bit over time. So you're really protected and you're really in a nice situation. A very nice situation. And then if you want to even take out a little bit more because you want to take even an extra trip or a more elaborate trip, you can still do that because you're not going to live forever. I mean, we're all going to die someday. So, you're just in a beautiful revolving door. And that's how it's done. Making percentages on your money through stocks, on your own account, and on your 401k. And it just pays for everything itself. So that is how it's done, guys. That is what you basically need to retire. And if we add up these amounts here, 250k plus 200k in a house, that's 450, 160, so we'll just say it's 150 for easy sake, that's 600,000, that's 1.1 million. So it's basically $1.1 million in different kinds of assets on what you could live a very, very comfortable retirement. Very comfortable retirement. I mean, we could all dream about that type of retirement where you can take all these trips and spend $15,000 a year on vacations. Are you kidding me? Drive a brand new car, live in a comfortable house and whatnot. That is the life. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today on how much money you need to retire. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, you may want to. We talk so much about personal finance, videos like this. I talk a little bit about the stock market and a little bit about business. So thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.